Rizzo, the Shadow Kage here in Village. And today we're going to do a reaction to how Floyd Mayweather became the most hated boxer of all time. Me, myself, I know a little bit about boxing, just a little bit. He's the Philly Shell King. But I understand why he's the most hated boxer. In my opinion, I say because he runs. He's a runner. He's a track star. He go run away when they hit hard. That's Floyd. But, we're going to see what they talking about.
Influential boxer of all time. But his impact may have ruined the sport. What if I were to tell you that modern-day boxing politics, the delay of super fights, the way boxing is structured with boxers being at the center, and them getting paid so much money, undefeated records being prioritized by young fighters, the decline of young fans being attracted to boxing, and boxing getting its infamous label as boring, and YouTube boxing were all caused by one man.
Y'all know how I feel about Jake Paul. He just like Floyd. He gonna pick his fights. That's just how he is. He not gonna fight legit competition in his weight class. He gonna float around and try to get a payday. And that's just how it is. He's becoming irrelevant in the influencer atmosphere. So that's why he boxes. You know what I'm saying? Him and his brother are known for scams, cryptocurrency, meme coins, just ripping people off. So, I will box too. I will take a couple punches so I can still become a millionaire or still stay a millionaire.
Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. In this video, I'm going to explore Floyd Mayweather's impact on the sport of boxing and how it has directly influenced the state of modern-day boxing. Before I begin, I want to preface this by saying that I am not a Floyd Mayweather hater. I completely respect him.
Facts.
He is one of the greatest to ever do it, and I appreciate what he has done for the sport. However, his lasting impact has profoundly changed boxing. Some of it for the good, but in my opinion, mostly for the bad. Let's dive into it. Starting off with a pretty straightforward one, the recent influx of undefeated records, especially among new up-and-coming stars, is a definite direct result of Floyd.
Like, who is y'all fighting? Because if y'all fighting each other, all of y'all not gonna be undefeated. It's a bottom barrel that they're picking that have a lot of losses, and they keep them around so they can be fodder for these undefeated fighters, and that's crazy, honestly.
Mayweather's impact. As you may know, Floyd Mayweather is undefeated and famously holds a 50-0 record. Throughout these 50 fights, he faced some of the toughest competition, including Hall of Famers and all-time greats. While it can be argued that he didn't always take these fighters at their absolute prime, and may have delayed these fights, what cannot be denied.
I know that for a fact. Don't Manny Pacquiao steal that man, bro. Manny Pacquiao steal that man.
His promotional advantage as an undefeated fighter. Every Floyd Mayweather fight followed a formula where his undefeated record became the centerpiece of promotional campaigns. Trailers, posters, and merchandise such as t-shirts and hats prominently displayed his current record. Fans tuned in to see if he could maintain his perfect record, and this strategy proved extremely successful.
Have you ever?
Naturally, other promotions.
Question: has he ever lost before? Have he ever lost as like an amateur or anything? Because if not, he is a pure deity, bro. Like, you gotta have at least one bad outing, bro. Like, dang, you're just complete boxing perfection, my boy. And I applaud that, man, to be able to be undefeated, man.
Promotions sought to replicate this success by manufacturing undefeated records for their boxers.
Yep.
If you look at the pound-for-pound rankings in 2004, most boxers had at least 2 losses, with Floyd Mayweather being the only undefeated fighter. Fast forward to the rankings today, and nearly all top 10 boxers have either 0 or just 1 loss, with no boxer having more than 2 losses. The shift is stark, and the one constant throughout this change is Floyd Mayweather's presence at the top of these rankings, setting a precedent that undefeated records are key to.
But here's the question, though. Did he manufacture his own? I think he did to some extent. Like, I think realistically, he's about 30-0. Maybe 35-0. He picked people when they were past their prime, and they're still dangerous, but they passed their prime, bro. People gotta realize people do have a prime, bro. A peak.
Now, this next point might ruffle some feathers, especially among Mayweather fans, but it needs to be said. While I respect Mayweather's defensive skills and style, and even study his fights to improve my own boxing,
Me too.
his style is not exactly exciting for casual fans. At the height of his career, during the Money Mayweather era, 2007 to 2017, he seldom finished his fights. Out of all his bouts during this period, he only achieved 2 finishes, one of which came with controversy. The majority of his wins were via decision, and since Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing during this time, casual fans began to associate boxing with his style.
That's Oscar De La Hoya.
Technical.
I remember when that was popular too. I was really young, I think. When was that fight? I don't remember. Let me see what that fight was. Mayweather versus De La Hoya. When did Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya fight?
Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya.
Holy crap, that was 2007? Jesus Christ.
And lacking highlight
I
reel
was real
knockouts.
young.
This perception of boxing as boring or an old man's sport likely deterred younger fans,
Yeah.
despite the presence of other exciting fighters in the same era. Finally, we come to Floyd Mayweather's most significant and controversial impact on the sport, which might be his role in reshaping the financial landscape of boxing. This topic is complex, and it's difficult to definitively say whether the change has been entirely positive or negative. Floyd Mayweather might be the most influential boxer of all.
You know what? I learned this. Once you start putting too much money in something, like it's the same issue going on with basketball. You're giving these people these guaranteed contracts and they don't come out and perform. They're not gonna come out and perform. They're just trying to get in so they can get a big check. And once you put too much money in it, you get people like Floyd Mayweather. You get people that picks their fights. You get people that want to make as much money as possible. Like, money is like, the people that are passionate about boxing or about basketball, they kind of get like hidden in the pile on of people who are just money hungry, and it waters down the sport. So, you know, that's just how I see it. Everybody deserves their money, but at some point you got to draw a line and be like, hold up now, there's too much damn money for what we doing, you know.
Of all time. But his impact on boxing has been polarizing. While his contributions to the sport have undeniable positives, there are also significant negatives. One of the most profound changes Mayweather brought was the complete restructuring of the business side of boxing, shifting most, if not all, power to the boxers, from the promoters and managers. Boxers have always been the stars of the sport, but before Mayweather, promoters and managers primarily controlled the business aspects. As a result, boxers in earlier eras didn't see the kind of paychecks we see today. The Muhammad Ali Act first laid the groundwork for shifting power away from managers and promoters to boxers. However, it wasn't until Mayweather fully took advantage of this act that it became apparent just how
You know
much
what?
negotiation.
I'm not gonna lie, he taking some blows, cuz. Mayweather can take a punch, bro. I'm just being real. He can take a punch. I remember when they used to call him Pretty Boy Floyd. And Money Mayweather is a newer thing to me. I remember him as Pretty Boy Floyd.
Power boxers could wield. In 2006, Mayweather made a pivotal move by buying out his contract for $750,000. From that point on, he promoted himself through Mayweather Promotions, freeing himself from the control of other promoters.
So really, he was ahead of the game. He was ahead of the curve. 2007, nobody was thinking about business moves like he did. So, with that being said, though he can't read. I remember the beef with him and 50 Cent. He said, if you can read a page off Harry Potter, I'll donate blah, blah, blah to your charity. Though he can't read, he is very, savvy with what he doing. So whoever in his head, it might be his own, he coming up with these things of his own. But, hey, you got something going, Mr. Floyd?
A larger share of the revenue. An ESPN article highlights how powerful and controlling Mayweather was during contract negotiations, often aggressively ensuring he secured the biggest cut of the revenue. This set a precedent. If Mayweather didn't get his money, he was willing to delay the fight. Mayweather's dual role as both the main draw and main promoter of events gave him unparalleled leverage. While no modern boxer has quite the same level of control, his actions showed fighters that they, too, have significant power at the negotiating table. Boxers today frequently emulate this approach, leveraging their star power to demand the best possible deals. This change is both good and bad.
Yeah.
On the positive side, boxers now
Same thing
earn
happened in
massive
basketball.
paydays that many fans believe they deserve. On the negative side,
The baddest one ain't fighting the baddest guy from this division. I mean, well, I don't say this division that holds this belt should fight the baddest one that holds this belt. The undefeated should go against each other. It should be made mandatory to stay in the sport. You shouldn't cherry pick to slow somebody who has 6 losses on their records just to powder your record some more. I don't think that's how it should be. It should be the best versus the best, like the NBA playoffs. Though the NBA is on some bull because they got these top players sitting out because they're getting guaranteed contracts. I don't agree with that either. But the best should go against the best. No negotiations. If you want to be part of the sport, you got to understand it. You know?
era of frequent super fights between stars in their prime seems to have ended. Fights are often delayed or don't happen at all because boxers focus on negotiating for maximum pay rather than prioritizing the fans' desire for marquee matchups.
I ain't fighting for the fans no more.
Before the Mayweather era, hard bargaining and delayed super fights were practically unheard of. Boxing stars regularly fought each other in their prime. Today, it's rare to see modern fighters taking pay cuts or compromises to make fights happen. This entitlement to negotiate has slowed the sport's momentum, frustrating fans eager for big matches. Another contentious point is the role Floyd Mayweather played in the rise of YouTube boxing. While this may seem less obvious, it's hard to deny the connection. When Mayweather fought Conor McGregor in 2017.
But that's something that needed to happen. People got to understand, I'm an MMA fan. I'm an MMA fan now. I love MMA. But boxers are professionals with hand-to-hand combat. MMA are professionals of combat in general. Truer combat than boxing. Boxing is not true combat. That's just one little bitty dimension of fighting is standing up and throwing punches. You also got to you got to focus on kicks, you got to focus on takedowns, you got to focus on clinch, you got to focus on, on the ground game. That's more full boxing. But nobody who's proficient in the MMA, unless they're a professional boxer, can step in the ring and fight a professional boxer and beat him. That's just how I see it. They're professionals at boxing. So Conor McGregor just wanted money. He's very, very greedy. He's having a downfall right now, which is probably very well deserved. So it is what it is, baby.
A spectacle that became one of the biggest pay-per-view events of all time. It showcased the value of hype and personality over pure competitiveness.
Yeah.
Fans were captivated not only by the fight itself, but also by the extravagant press conferences,
It's a trash talk.
trash talking, and the larger-than-life personas of the fighters. This historical event occurred in August 2017, and just 6 months later, KSI and Joe Weller had their fight, effectively launching the YouTube boxing scene. The similarities between the Mayweather-McGregor build-up and the KSI-Weller fight are striking. From the trash talk to the large press conferences to the overall spectacle, even Mayweather later participated.
Me, myself, I would love to box a few YouTubers myself. I know one in specific. Deshay. I love to box you, my boy. It will be an honor. We ain't even got to put no money up, dog. I ain't even got to get paid. I just love combat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in peak form like I was when I was younger, when I was like 19, 18, when I was actually training to be like an MMA fighter. An accident happened. I got in a car accident. Had certain injuries that I ain't going to be able to take blows from professionals. I can't. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll box you though. We can wear headgear. That's fine. 8-ounce gloves. Just let me know. But I don't have to make money off of it. That's perfectly fine with me. Just whatever you want to do. If you ever see this video, hit me up.
In a YouTube boxing event when he fought Logan Paul, cementing this trend as a pop culture staple. Mayweather's defensive brilliance is arguably his most significant contribution to the sport. His ability to avoid damage while outpointing opponents is a masterclass in technical boxing.
It is. He's a very good technical boxer.
His style also alienated casual fans, many of whom prefer action-packed bouts with knockdowns and dramatic finishes. This shift in perception has had a lasting impact. Fighters inspired by Mayweather often adopt a more cautious and defensive approach, prioritizing points over knockouts. While this strategy is effective and ensures career longevity, it does little to attract new fans to the sport. Boxing has historically thrived on its ability to deliver thrilling moments, and the rise of defensive styles has led to a decline in fan engagement. To illustrate this point, consider the contrasting popularity of fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Vasily Lomachenko, compared to action-oriented fighters such as Gennady Golovkin or Manny Pacquiao. While all are exceptional boxers, those who prioritize aggression and power punches tend to have broader appeal, even among casual viewers. Mayweather's influence has inadvertently contributed to a shift away from the kind of fights that captivate mainstream audiences. The emergence of YouTube boxing can also trace its roots back to Floyd Mayweather's influence. When Mayweather fought Conor McGregor.
Mayweather fought Logan Paul. And Logan Paul's a big guy, bro, for Mayweather to be fighting. So kudos to Mayweather, man. He's definitely got skills.
In 2017,
hella skills.
It blurred the lines between traditional boxing and spectacle fights. This crossover event showcased that fans were willing to pay for events driven by personality clashes, rather than pure athletic skill. Just months after the Mayweather-McGregor bout, YouTube stars like KSI and Joe Weller began organizing their own boxing matches. These events quickly gained traction, culminating in high-profile fights like KSI versus Logan Paul, which drew millions of viewers and massive revenue. Mayweather himself later participated in this trend, fighting Logan Paul in an exhibition match that further legitimized the YouTube boxing phenomenon. While this trend has introduced a new audience to boxing, it has also sparked debate about the sport's integrity. Purists argue that these events dilute boxing's prestige and shift focus away from legitimate athletes.
That's true.
On the other hand, proponents claim that YouTube boxing brings much-needed attention to the sport and helps.
Well, Jake Paul better be glad I ain't a little bit taller. I'll put hands on him too. Not gonna lie. I'll put hands on Jake Paul. I'm a better fighter than Jake Paul. Just being real. Pure fighter. You better stay in that boxing ring, boy. But I got somebody, if he ever wanted to box me, I got somebody that'll box me. For sure, because I think he's a clown, he's a character, he's not a dog. He's a YouTube kid. I mean, no, he's not a YouTube kid, he's a Disney kid. You grew up on Disney, bro. You're not like that. You're not no killer. You're not no, you know what I'm saying? And I hate that you disrespected Mike Tyson in such a way.
Helps attract younger fans. Ultimately, the Mayweather-McGregor fight proved that the most lucrative matchups are often about personality clashes rather than competitive parity. This has reshaped how fights are marketed and consumed, for better or worse. So, what do you think? Is Floyd Mayweather's impact on boxing good, bad, or somewhere in between? While it's difficult to definitively judge, there's no denying that he's one of the most impactful boxers of all time. Thanks for watching, and please keep the discussion civil in the comments. I'll continue to upload weekly.
Hey,
peace.
I appreciate that, bro. Who is that? Who is that? Who was that? Who was this?
Mayweather might be the most
Wrestling Revival. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to him or her. I think it's a man that's talking, so him. Definitely dope content. Hey, I appreciate you for that. And until next time, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.